Yeah, we're here with the three seniors from the Maplewood volleyball team, McKenna Crawford, Bailey Varndell, and Sadie Thomas, the PIAA Class 1A Championship Maplewood volleyball team. It's been a couple days now, ladies. Has that kind of sunk in yet?
It has now,
Yeah, a
yes.
bit, yeah.
So, as you look at that, how does that feel right now for you guys? Thinking about the fact that you're state champions now and forever.
Satisfying. Yeah. Just feels good. Like it's just a story we'll always get to tell, and it'll just be fun.
Yeah, it's definitely going to stick with us for probably forever, and it's just a great feeling and experience because a lot of people don't get to experience it ever. So, and the school has experience, and Sheila's experienced 6 times. So, I mean, it's just amazing to be part of that history here.
So I'm going to share a video clip here of the end of the match. And after I share it, I want you guys to just kind of tell me what was kind of going through your mind at this point in time. So hold on here a second while we pull that video up here. So as Elizabeth Hunter puts that down to win the state championship, what's kind of going through your minds at that point in time?
I was just like, did that really just happen? Like, I honestly didn't believe it for a second. I don't really remember it, if I'm being honest. All I remember is just dropping to the floor and just like screaming in Bailey's face, like, oh my God. It's like so unreal. I don't know.
Yeah, like when we were receiving that ball, I was just waiting for the ball to come out of Sadie's hands, and I'm like, because you always want to get like the game-winning kill, or you want to be the person who wins it all. So I was honestly thinking about who to set, and usually our go-to in that rotation is Liz. So I mean, I went to her and I got the kill, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, if you saw the Meadville Tribune, which is our paper in our hometown, I'm like jumping up, screaming. I mean, it was just an amazing feeling, and I'll never forget it.
At that time, I didn't even know it was game point. So when they dropped to the floor, I was like, wait, was that it? And then I dropped to the floor too and was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because the scoreboard was kind of really hard to see.
Yeah, so at the time, I didn't know. I was just trying to avoid that and just play the game. And
That kind of Sadie, that kind of like leans into what Coach had said to me after the game, that she told you guys going into that third set to not worry about what the score was. You took her completely to heart there, I guess.
yeah, I did.
Just talk a little bit about the journey. Back in September, you lose to Cochranton 3-0, and they really weren't all that close. And my colleague Andy Close covered that match for our website. And he said to me the other night, he's like, if you had told me that Maplewood was going to win the state championship after that match, I would have told you were crazy. But that's really a testament to what you guys were able to take from that and then build upon the things that you needed to fix. Talk about it. And I don't remember if it was Sadie or Bailey, but one of you guys talked to my other colleague, Brian Hagberg, right after that. You guys had gone up to Eisenhower. And one of you were interviewed in a post game, and you guys talked about how it was time to refocus. But was that Bailey?
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. So Bailey, you talked to Brian about how it was time to refocus. Talk about that a little bit, and talk about how hard that is to lose a match like that to your arch rival, as bad as you lost that match, and then to know that you had to refocus and figure out how to make your season still a success.
Yeah, so after we lost, I mean, it's obviously very defeating. You never want to lose to your rivals, but I think that it honestly needed to happen. And as we reflect back on it, that's true. It definitely needed to happen. We went back the next day during practice. We changed our entire lineup. So during that rotation, I was hitting. We had different people passing, and it wasn't working out. So we went back and we changed our rotation, and we kept building on it. And then when we played them at home, things started to click, and we won our home tournament. And just after that, things started to click for us, and we just kept focusing, kept working hard in practice, and it obviously paid off. So
kept the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Was there a point, whether it be sometime during the off season, sometime during the season, that it kind of occurred to you guys that maybe a state championship was a possibility?
Well, I'm going to share the story. So during open gym in the summer, me and Sheila talked, and Allison, we talked in we have like a little equipment room. And I told them, I said, we're going to get a state championship this year. I had a feeling, I knew I wanted it, and I wanted it for my best friends.
She's
and
been
for the
saying
team.
it for a while though. She like even a few years
Yeah.
ago, you said our senior year we're gonna win a state
Yeah,
championship.
I don't know.
So.
I wanted it to happen, and not to say that we've always talked about like mental over skill. So it's like 60% mental, 40% skill, and I think that we have worked for that the entire season, more mentally focused than actual ability, and I think that definitely helped us.
Obviously going through the West in Class A is not an easy task. Obviously when you're talking about that, you knew that Clarion was the two-time defending champion. You knew that they had lost some people, but that they're still a program like yours. They're Clarion. You knew that Cochranton was in the way. As well, and another program like yours that is a state caliber program. How helpful is that to know that, this isn't going to be a breeze and we have to work at getting to a championship?
I'd say it's very. I think it's better when you know that there's going to be strong competition, because it makes us work that much harder and push that much more in practice to really strive to achieve like the most we can. So I think knowing that there's a lot more competition on this side, it really helped us push to get big goals, I guess.
And then you get to the state championship match. I mean, look, I know that it's hard to, it's the thing to say, well, hey, we're not really paying attention to what our opponent's done or anything like that. But the information's out there. You knew that they had lost to Elk County Catholic in the in their tournament. You know that they'd struggled in a couple of sets with Homer Center, but at the same time, you also knew that West Branch was in a championship match. How do you kind of stay focused and not just figure, well, we've already played the hardest opponents we're going to play and we can still win this?
I think we knew, like, obviously they're good. They're in the state championship match. And just like us, any team is going to come in here and play the best ball they can play.
But also a team could come in and play the worst ball. Like when we went into Cochranton and lost in 3, like you never know what can happen. It all depends on the day. So
we just kind of focused on ourselves and wanted to play hard for us.
Yeah, and eliminate our errors on the side of the net. So Sheila said that we can beat West Branch as long as we play our ball and eliminate our errors. So, because they're a team that didn't make a lot of mistakes, and some matches we're the team that beats ourselves, hence the Cochranton match. So, I think definitely going into that game, we had to be mentally focused and to eliminate our errors, and that's what we did.
When you get down early to them in the first set, is there any panic at that point in time? Is there any self-doubt that starts to creep in? Or did you know if you just continued to play your match, you were going to win?
I think that's definitely where the mental part of the game comes in, because when you're down by that much, you can't start freaking out and then you're going to make yourself play bad. So I think that's definitely where we come in.
It just got real quiet.
I didn't even know how bad we were down. Like when the match was over and like we saw the scores of the game, I'm like, what? The first set was 26-24. Like I didn't even know we were down that much.
I think what was going through my head a little bit was kind of like, all right, just need to get our break where we get like a run of points. Because typically for our team, whenever we would get that run of like 3 or 4 points, like once you get that, everyone kind of settles into what they're doing, and then everyone kind of relaxes and plays more than worries of what's happening with the score. So.
How much did it help that you'd been in that position before? You were down to Homer Center, and then McKenna stepped up to the service line. This time it was Bailey, but it's just different players at different times. But you'd been there and done that before. Does that help in being in a situation like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all about like experience. So we experienced that with Homer Center. We've experienced it with actually every single team, I think, through the playoff run. Yeah, I mean, we were down at some point, but that's when you have to encourage your teammates and pull yourself together and
trust that they can.
Yeah, they'll have your backs.
Yeah.
let's switch gears a little bit. What are some of the memories that you guys will take from this season? Maybe some of the stuff that happened in the locker room or on the bus or on a trip to a tournament or something like that. What's something that you're willing to share with somebody that's going to be something that you remember the most from this year?
During our Penn State tournament, we stayed the night at a hotel. We were all pretty tired in the morning because we had to be there at like 8 a.m., but we couldn't find a hotel close enough, so we had to drive like 45 minutes. We were up really early in the morning, and I was in the front seat with Sheila, and she said, "Get something to wake these girls up." So then I plug in my phone for like Bluetooth, and I play Bodies, and the song's like, "Let the bodies hit the floor."
It's like it's just like
It's like a
screaming
heavy
song.
metal.
It's like a heavy metal pump up song. So we listened to that every single match since the District 10 match. And then also my sister shared a video with like a motivational video with me. And that's the video that we would listen to on repeat like 3 times before the match. And it's,
to get everyone focused on what
Yeah.
they want to do and how they're going to do it, kind of.
yeah, so we definitely, it started like on the bus ride and it started in the locker room. I'd play the video and everybody would be focused in, and we carried that from the District 10 match on, and I think it definitely helped us.
I talked to all 3 of you on Saturday about, you all had an opportunity to watch older sisters in this situation. How much of it, being that I'm the oldest of my brother and I don't necessarily know what it's like to be the youngest sibling, but I hear what my brother thinks it's like to be the youngest sibling. But what was it like to know that your sisters had all been there and won that, and how much did that drive you and motivate you to want to win one for yourself?
It was a lot. I mean, I've said this so many times. I watched it and I wanted to get there one day. So, I mean, it was just, I've looked up to my sister playing volleyball. I played with her and these guys my entire life, and I wanted to get there one day. And it just so happened we did.
Yeah, my sister was a freshman that year, so she didn't necessarily step foot on the court and play in the match, but I was also a manager for the team that year, so I got to experience everything with them. Like, I got to ride the bus down with them, I got to stay in the hotel with them, do everything with them. So just to be able to experience that while playing was definitely something that I'll remember and something that I always wanted to do for myself.
Oh, okay. I don't know. With my sisters, like, I wanted to get one too, so that's what we did. I don't know.
What's it like to play for Sheila?
Oh my goodness.
Stressful, but in a good way. In a good way.
She's been my coach since 3rd grade, and she's been my travel coach since 4th grade. So she taught me the game of volleyball. She taught me the love for the game. And I mean, I would never want to play for anybody else. She's amazing.
It's definitely like a comforting feeling having her as a coach, because she's been in this program for forever and ever. So, she knows what she's doing, and she can get you places like this, obviously. So, yeah, I definitely think it's comforting.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I said stressful is because, like, she has built this program and everything, and like, you just want to fulfill what she's built and succeed as well. And so I was on the teams with Bailey as well, and she's always been an amazing coach and kind of helped build the game into my life. So yeah.
I mean, I don't really know my life without volleyball. So, and that's all thanks to Sheila. I played volleyball all year round. So now I'm not playing it. It's kind of weird.
How did you guys get started, each of you? Like, what was it that made you fall in love with this sport?
If I remember correct, I think it started with club. I think Sheila just asked me one day if I wanted to play, and I was just like, sure. And then I went and tried out, and then I just played.
I was gonna
ever
say
since
also
then.
Bailey and I were already in clubs. We were like, come on, McKenna, do it,
Yeah,
do it,
that's
do
true,
it.
Yeah. So, and like our sisters all played club volleyball, so we went to their tournaments when we were younger. And yeah, I think we just started in 4th grade and never stopped.
We played in 3rd grade for a club team, right?
And I think we started like open gyms in 3rd grade and we played in 4th.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
So 30 years from now, 2052, you guys come home for Thanksgiving to Guy's Mills or the area, and yeah, I know you're thinking 30 years, holy cow! Trust me, it goes by fast. You guys get together maybe the night before Thanksgiving. What do you talk about when it comes to your volleyball careers? Not just this year, but just the time you guys spent together.
The memories,
Cool.
just like the funny little memories of like things that would happen
Yeah.
at summer league or on the bus rides or things like that, I think is what we would look back at the
Yeah.
most.
And I
Because
think I'll definitely, I mean, I have like a memory box of like all my papers, my medals, and whatnot. And I'll definitely probably pull those out, or like Sadie said, just talk about like the little things. And I think, like I said before, I'll remember this for forever. So
look at pictures.
yeah. And when I have kids, I want them to obviously be a state champion. And obviously, you can see that runs in the family. So
It really does run in the family when it comes to Maplewood volleyball. Just talk about the community support, the student body that showed up all the way in Mechanicsburg. That's not an easy trip from Guys Mills, and it was made not all the. I don't know what your trip was like on Friday down there, but mine wasn't any fun. It was a 5-hour trip from Clarion for me to just get there, and it should have only been about a 3.5 hour. Not that anybody cares, but I don't know what your trip was like, but. It's not an easy trip. The weather wasn't necessarily the greatest. I know people that left later ran into I-80 being closed. To see all those people show up, knowing that it wasn't the easiest thing for them to be there, what did that mean to you ladies?
Yeah,
so
it meant
much, yeah.
everything. Like Sheila said, we had a little assembly today, and she said that we probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for the fans and the student body, and just to see that everybody has your back and wants you to succeed and cares about you. I mean, it's good to see that everybody has your back, and
Just the fact that kids were willing to get up at what 5
Yeah.
a.m.
yeah, 4 or 5
4:30
a.m.
Ride a school
a.m.
bus all the way down.
Yeah, a
there.
little
Yeah.
metal box in a snowstorm
Yeah.
just to come to a volleyball match. That's what blew my mind, was that
Yeah.
all these kids truly wanted to be there and support us and have a fan section.
Yeah,
So
and it doesn't go unnoticed. I mean, we can't even hear Sheila in the huddle because they're screaming, let's go Wood in the stands. I mean, it's a great feeling just to, like I said before, everybody has your back.
Well, ladies, thanks for spending a little bit of your Tuesday right before Thanksgiving with us here, and it just it's going to be a special thing. Like I said in my headline after, you're champions now and you're champions forever, and congratulations on a great season and great volleyball careers, all of you.
Thank you.
thank you so much.